This is KFDM Sports Extra with Mike Friedman and Cam Sanderson.
Yeah, thanks a lot, voice guy. He got it right. This is the KFDM Sports Extra Podcast. Thanks for listening wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and hopefully we're one of them. Or you could be watching this, and we do a little visual here. You can watch us on YouTube, News on KFDM, for the video version of this podcast. But we appreciate everyone coming in. It's week 12 of our podcast, and that means we've gone past the regular season for high school football. So we're going to start to transition a little bit. We will not have a top 6 for high school football teams today, because the regular season's over, and we're pulling for every one of our area teams that's in the playoffs, and so who cares about what we think of rankings or who's going to do what. But anyway, we're going to start shifting a little bit towards basketball, and it is the high school basketball season right now. The girls are actually playing for keeps coming up later this week. In fact, I know a couple of games coming up on Saturday that are keepers, and then the guys will be starting soon enough as well, like not just scrimmages, but playing the season for real. Right. So let's talk about some of the preseason state rankings for high school boys basketball. And we've got 2 teams in Class 5A. That's what we'll focus on today. 2 teams in Class 5A. And I don't know if this is a surprise to anybody, but the defending champs from West Brook, the state champions from West Brook, are picked. Oh, it won't show me pointing.
Yeah, it won't show me pointing, but
they're picked 5th.
5th, and then the other Beaumont team.
Beaumont United picked as the number 1 team in Class 5A Division 1. So Beaumont United's got some talent, but is I think West Brook, pound for pound, has the best player in Elijah Garrett.
Yeah.
So how do you pick West Brook, the defending state champs, at 5 and put United over them?
Well, I tell you what, let's do this real quick while we're talking. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up that Beaumont United basketball roster, because there's some guys there that are talented individuals. Get this out of here. We don't need that pop-up.
All right, move it over a little bit.
I will move it over, yes, sir. In a big old pop-up bag. We don't do much of this moving around during the podcast. We do it in between cuts. Yeah. But, first of all, one thing to point out, Peyton Jones.
Right.
Who I believe was at Silsbee.
Correct.
Is now at Beaumont United.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pair him up with Race.
And pair him up.
With Race Desitel and then Ephraim Moore. The center there, the big guy in the center
Baby
there.
Perk last night.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah, he is a monster. I remember seeing him for the first time on the court, and I remember he was visibly upset after they lost that game to West Brook in the playoffs. And it's probably senior's last game. And someone said, "No, that's a freshman." I was like, "That's a freshman. That is a 14-year-old. That is unbelievable." Yeah. They have the talent, and a lot of guys are returning.
Right.
I think that's something we noticed with West Brook's roster when we were looking at it yesterday. Not a lot of guys returning. They did lose some pieces that matter.
Yeah.
I got to give Beaumont United some credit. They got some good talent that will be coming back.
When you look at the roster and you look at the talent these guys have coming back, you can kind of see why they were picked ahead of West Brook. West Brook did lose some talent last year. If you want, we can take a look at West Brook's roster.
Yeah, I'll pull that up too.
We'll point out some of the guys. We did mention Elijah Garrett as one of the guys certainly that you're going to watch out for to be back. And pound for pound, I do think he'd probably be the best guy on the floor right there. Everything's going to run through Elijah Garrett, the guy at the top right there on this roster. But they did lose Terry Satcher.
Oh,
They lost.
That's going to be a big loss right there.
Right. They lost quite a few pieces right here. So they don't have the same team, and you never do when you graduate players and you come back and you try and make another run. And it doesn't mean West Brook can't repeat as state champions. Preseason, though, they're picked to finish 5th, or the 5th best team in the state, and Beaumont United, the top team. And you'd have to think they're the top team in that district, too.
Obviously, if they're the top team in the state. But it's just hard to pick against the defending champs. I'm always against that. These guys just proved it to you.
Right.
But I mean, you got the coaching at United that's done it before.
Right.
Sure.
David Green.
It's a program that has hung banners, has hung signs up.
Absolutely.
And they're back at 5A.
Right. When they were 5A, they were back-to-back state champs.
Went up to 6A.
Played for the state championship tournament, but did not win. And then now they're back in 5A, and so I know they have their eyes set on that ultimate prize right there. And Coach Green knows how to get them there for sure. Yeah.
And we have one more team that's ranked in 5A that we did not mention, and that is the Port Arthur Memorial Titans.
That's right.
And so we talked about this once again last night. looks like they probably graduated a lot of guys. They don't have an updated roster out.
Right.
But what we can tell is a lot of guys on that roster last year were seniors. And so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I know they have a Landon Roberts nephew on the team.
Right. Kayvon Roberts is a guy to watch out for Port Arthur Memorial. Yeah. It's just a wait and see. One thing I know about the Titans and their pace, they're fast paced.
Oh yeah.
And so when they play like West Brook or Beaumont United and things like that, that's an exciting game. Go watch those guys.
Yeah.
Because those are exciting games. They're running up and down the floor. It's very fast paced, high scoring type game. A lot of high flying fun right there. So Port Arthur Memorial, they're state ranked.
Yeah.
They should be happy about that.
They should.
Yeah.
It's 3 teams in the same district are state ranked. I mean, that's a scary district, now. And so you talk about the basketball talent here in Southeast Texas. I mean, we're only talking about 5A today.
Right.
We'll talk about other, classifications
we will.
later on.
It's a long season, so we'll go down to 4A, 3A, 2A. We'll talk about all of it still to come.
I mean, it's impressive seeing how much talent we have just in 5A alone. I do believe we have 3 teams that can compete for a state championship. We had 2 teams in the 4th round going against each other, and that's right. A yearly tradition. They meet at the Montang in the 4th round, and they play each other to see who gets to go play for a state title.
That's right.
And so it's just beautiful. I love basketball season so much because we do have some awesome talent here and some awesome competition.
Good time, something to look forward to, of course. And of course, the good thing about high school basketball is they play twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. So you get double the action in a week, not just like high school football.
Yeah,
all right. Well, that's a look at some high school basketball. We will talk a little high school football as we're moving into the by-district round, first round of the high school football playoffs. We'll talk about the teams that have made it to the playoffs and kind of their outlook. That's all still to come on the KFDM Sports Extra Podcast. Stay close, everyone.
United.
Urban Meyer built college football dynasties.
Football is a way of life.
Mark Ingram II ran his way to a Heisman.
I'm gonna do the rest of the show with this thing.
Rob Stone calls it like he sees it. This is the Triple Option, where legends tackle the biggest headlines in college football and the NFL with guests who don't hold back.
You're not winning with that owner.
Wow.
It's football talk that hits harder than game day. The Triple Option, presented by Wendy's, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, we're back, and of course, I mentioned it is high school football season still. It is week 1 of the playoffs, the by-district round, and if you're watching us on YouTube, you get to see this little graphic that we made here. These are all of our teams that qualified for the playoffs from Southeast Texas. And 4 teams from every district make the playoffs. Some teams with losing records are playoff bound, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. We've got a couple of our own area teams that are like that. But let's start in the top left corner right there, Port Arthur Memorial. They went undefeated in the regular season.
Comfortable 10-0 at that.
Comfortable 10-0. So they get to start at home, and they're playing Thursday night. So if you're listening to this sometime Thursday afternoon, get out there to Memorial Stadium in Port Arthur and watch them tonight.
We'll be out there.
Yeah, we'll be out there for sure. But yeah, Port Arthur Memorial getting to host Galena Park. The Yellow Jackets coming up tonight. Galena Park finished 4th in their district. They went 4-6 overall this season, 4-4 in district, and that's how they finished 4th.
I think they opened against Galena Park last year. I don't want to say that for sure.
I can't remember, but
Galena Park's one of those teams, and this is no diss. You beat them by 70. You play them in the first round. P&G played them in the first round a few years ago. Beat them by 70.
Yeah.
It's just this is a good starting game. I mean, you don't want to take any playoff game lightly.
No, absolutely not.
Memorial getting the chance to open the postseason at home against Galena Park. That's like a dream come true.
One thing that's a bit the Titans in the past before is the fact they've had great regular seasons, even gone 10-0 before, and then one and done in the playoffs. They stumble. They don't take the other team seriously. So I don't think that'll happen this year. I know Coach Morgan has focused completely on football, gave up those athletic director responsibilities, and he's focused completely on football. And I think the Titans not only will take down Galena Park coming up tonight, Thursday night.
Oh, yeah. I think they'll have the backups in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that they've got a lot of success coming for them coming up.
Yeah, they got the talent to make the run.
That's
for
right.
Sure.
And when we had our podcast last week, we didn't know out of this district who the 4th place team was going to be. It was going to be between one of the 2 Beaumont schools. West Brook needed to win. All they needed to do was win and get in, and they didn't win. They did not beat Barbers Hill, so they didn't win. So that means Beaumont United gets to be in the playoffs. Congratulations to Coach Drenard.
With a winning record?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Coach Dre with a winning record. and they're in the postseason play. They don't have an easy test, though. They'll take on the Madison Marlins. Madison went 9-0 overall in the year. They're 8-0 in district play. They're the number 1 seed. That's what happens. The 1 seed in one district plays the 4 seed out of the other district. So Beaumont United, 6-4 overall, but they went 3-3 in district, and they're taking on Madison.
I'm assuming this is the same district that Galena Park's in.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I kind of get a little weary about that. If Galena Park's a playoff team in your district, how good is your district? And so I mean I'm taking shots at Galena Park. Like maybe it's a little unnecessary, but I do recognize Galena Park.
But Madison handled Galena Park. They went undefeated in district, so it wasn't a challenge to them.
Oh my goodness! I mean.
But that's who Beaumont United's got to face.
I think
the team that blew through that division.
I think they have a shot.
Yeah,
I'm not going to count the Timberwolves out. I think everybody counted the Timberwolves out all year.
Right.
I can't even lie to you. I did not expect to be talking about the Timberwolves in the first round of the playoffs.
Right.
There was no way that was on my mind.
Right.
So they have completely, I think, shut up some people, and they've played good football. So, I mean, if I couldn't count them out 11 weeks of the year, I'm not counting them out the first week of the postseason.
If any of our listeners or any of our viewers, if you happen to be watching us on YouTube, News on KFDM on YouTube, you can click podcasts and see all of our podcasts. Go back to week 1, the first one we picked teams we thought were going to make playoff runs. We both had West Brook.
As that team.
We
thought West Brook would come out of that.
Yeah, we thought West Brook was going to make the postseason. So a surprise to both of us. The fact that it's a good surprise for Beaumont United, though, but a surprise that Beaumont West Brook did not make the playoffs.
I'll give you some credit, too. We talked about this off camera before the podcast started about what team we thought had a chance. And I said West Brook, and Mike told me before the podcast, he said, I think United's got that shot. And, obviously, we changed it once we started doing the podcast, but you were right at first. So he knew something. I guess 28 years of experience. You kind of understand what's going on.
It was a hunch there that I kind of thought that they were going to make the playoffs here. So I certainly make no mistake about it. We're rooting for our local teams.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So who cares about what Madison's done in the past or what they can do? Go Beaumont United. Be you all the way.
Yeah, be you.
Yeah, go Beaumont United. All right, move on to your school. Purple and white, prettiest sight you've ever seen, right? PNG. Whatever. PNG, they went undefeated as well.
Yeah.
10-0. They get to host the fourth place team out of the neighboring district in Nacogdoches Dragons.
The
Dragons also 3-3 in district. They make the playoffs. They're 6-4 overall, kind of like Beaumont United.
Yeah, I haven't seen a team come into PNG and that in a first round playoff game since Joseph's been there and even have a shot.
Yeah, right.
I'd imagine this will go the same way, but you know, I guess kind of like you mentioned with Memorial, you don't ever take it lightly. I know PNG's not going to take it lightly.
Yeah.
They usually are able to get past the first 2 rounds comfortably. I expect the same this year. So. No doubt on PNG. They should have a shot. I really think when we're talking about our 5A teams, I have a lot of comfortability that all 3 of those teams will still be playing next week. Even BU who's going against the team that one district.
Right.
So I'm feeling good about our 5A teams.
Okay.
So I'd like to talk about all 3 of them next week.
That's good. Just remember, PNG's still in Region 2. So they're still in the South region.
You gotta go.
You gotta go through that.
They'll see Texas High round 3, and then they'll see. I don't know.
Suck.
It's going to be interesting if we ever wanted to break down that bracket. South of the Cliff doesn't have an easy run. They'll see Montgomery round 2, and they'll see the 9th ranked team in the state round 3.
I do think South Oak Cliff's the number 1 team in the state, ranked number 1 in the state.
I believe they're 2.
Oh, 2
I think they're
now.
behind Randall.
All right.
Who's the reigning state champs. But I will say, I think this year compared to last year, and I'm going way in advance, all the way to round 4. Assuming these teams make it. South Oak Cliff has a way tougher route than they had last year.
Okay.
I think there's a good chance they're a little beat up when they get to that one, and it's going to be a closer game. But
sounds like to me Cam's hoping South Oak Cliff doesn't make it to round 4.
No.
PNG's facing someone else.
I would love to see them. I want PNG playing them because it means more for them to beat them than anybody else.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep moving on down. We've got our 4A teams coming up next. Bridge City won in the final week of the regular season, and so clinched the district championship. You can say they're sharing it with Lumberton. They both finished with the same
co-district
records.
champs.
Co-district champs.
I believe that's what it
both
is.
Both 6-1 in district, but Bridge City beat Lumberton head-to-head.
Exactly.
So Bridge City gets the top seed. They're facing Chapel Hill coming up on Friday. They get to be at home. It's the first time Bridge City has ever been home for a playoff, opening up the playoffs. So that's great for them. They get the Cardinal Nation out there.
Yeah.
They're going to have a great crowd out there. I'll be out there Friday night, so that'll be fun.
True,
I will be. So that'll be fun out there. So Bridge Bridge City taking on Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill, another team that's 3-3 in district, but 6-4 overall.
God, that's a tough district.
Yeah,
that is
a tough
a
district.
unbelievably hard district, and that's the truth with our Bridge City Lumberton LCM district that. They don't have easy opponents,
right?
It's not the same way that I view who won district in the team that Beaumont United is playing,
right?
Like it's kind of the opposite. Like I view that district as weak. I view this district as really tough, and so it's not gonna be easy football, and I think they all know that, and I think that's what's good is that they know that they're not coming into this one going we're playing the 4th seed. They recognize the teams that they're playing, and Bridge City, I've mentioned it all year, and I think this is the point where it starts to matter. That passing game that they have, their special teams is unbelievable.
Right.
Abraham Mungia, I mean, he can literally take any kick back to the house.
Back to return.
And I believe he took one back against Huffman. That was a big deal.
If you didn't see Cam's top 6 plays
that
or
was
whatever,
one of them. I think that was 3. But, they have the talent to win. Bridge City's not a team I'll ever count out.
Right.
And so, they've proven it. They've only dropped 1 game. And so, I think they got the chance at home. I've heard a lot of rumbling that every single team in this district will be out round 1. I think Bridge City's got a chance to, prove those people wrong. And I think Lumberton, we're going to talk about them. I think they also have a good chance at proving those wrong. Those home field advantages are.
Let's talk about Lumberton. They finish as co-champs, but they'll be the 2nd seed. So they're going to face Longview Pine Tree. Longview Pine Tree went 4-2 in their district. They're also 6-4 overall. 4-2 in their district instead of 3-3. So they won 1 more game than Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Longview Pine Tree. Lumberton gets to be home as well Friday night. The only game so far that we've talked about that's on a Thursday is Port Arthur Memorial so far. All the rest of these are on Friday. But Lumberton gets to be home on Friday, and they're taking on Pine Tree.
Yeah. So the thing with this one is, I think Chapel Hill, which is the team that Bridge City's playing, right?
Right.
This is the Kilgore district,
right?
Right. Chapel Hill.
We'll talk about Kilgore.
And we will talk about
LCM.
them,
yeah.
But Chapel Hill played Kilgore a lot better than this Pine Tree team did.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of what it's going to come down to. I've heard over the past few weeks is that 2 seed might be coveted because I think people thought that Pine Tree team might be the most beatable team.
Okay.
I still haven't seen someone come up with an answer since Bridge City did it for Lumberton's 1-2 punch at running back.
Right.
And really, I think they just offensively outplayed him. I remember Nick Craddock broke off a big 60-yard run against Bridge City.
Right.
And so, I really haven't seen a true answer for those two. And I don't know if the first round of the playoffs is where that answer will be found.
I agree with you because one thing I think Lumberton has on their side is they're playing their best when it counts.
What is that, 6 straight now?
6 straight wins for the Lumberton Raiders. They figured it out, and they're playing their best. Just stick with what's worked so far.
Would you have guessed this team was co-district champs after losing 6-3 in overtime for week 1?
No.
Never.
No. Not at all.
Good for those guys.
And you think about they're 7-3 overall, but those 3 losses were in non-district play before the season started. So, they did win that.
They
lost,
2 of them, and then they dropped
them
1 to
district.
Bridge City.
Yeah,
I believe they
City.
beat Jasper at home. Was their non-district win?
Right. All right. You want to talk about Kilgore? The district changed 9-1, 6-0 in district play. Kilgore, the winners of that neighboring district, they're going to LCM, who had a chance to win the district in the final week of the regular season, fell all the way to 4th, and now they get an opening round game on the road at Kilgore. 9-1 Kilgore, 6-0. Kilgore in district. LCM finished the year 5-5 overall, and even 500. They went 5-2 in district.
Yeah, I'm not going to count them out. I'm not going to count LCM out, but there is no doubt. Out of all these games, I think they have the toughest task out of any of our teams.
Absolutely.
And but what do they say? Pressure makes diamonds.
That's right.
You gotta. Yeah. I mean, if they can take down this team, then they kind of prove to the state we can take down any team.
You don't win a game on expectations.
Exactly.
And so you don't expect LCM to win, but that's why they're going to play the game.
They got 4 quarters.
Exactly.
So prove everyone wrong.
Absolutely.
Prove everyone wrong. Like Mike said, we're rooting for you.
Yeah, go Bears. Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll move on to 4A Division 2. The Silsbee Tigers, they get to open up the season on the road. They'll play Thursday. This is another one of our Thursday games. Silsbee will take on Sweeney over there in LaPorte, a 7:30 kickoff. So it's Silsbee went 4-1 in their district. They lost to West Orange Stark. We'll talk about West Orange Stark here in a minute. But Silsbee went 4-1 in their district. They're 7-3 overall. Sweeney 5-5 overall, 3-3 in their district. And so Silsbee and Sweeney.
Yeah, I think this district's one of those where it's like when we talk about Silsbee, West Orange, Stark, Hampshire, that's one of those tough districts.
Yeah,
you know, you refer to it as a scary district.
You
We
do.
did a season preview over it for a reason.
Yeah.
So these teams, like regardless of where they landed in district, whoever they're playing, I would be terrified to take on any of these teams. And I think I'm going to say the same thing for Silsbee, West Orange, Stark, and Hampshire Finette.
Yeah.
They're all winning round one.
So
you know, I feel
bad
pretty
news for
confident
Sweeney
in
is what you're saying.
It sounds like it. I wouldn't want to play Silsbee in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
For sure.
That's one of the last teams I don't want to
All
play.
right, we'll move on to West Orange Stark. Would you want to face the Mustangs?
No,
the
that's
Mustangs
even
went
worse of a team I don't want to play.
5-0 in district. They're 7-3 overall, but they went undefeated in district play, and they get Wharton, 6-4, 3-3 in district. Wharton.
Yeah.
So who knows anything about Wharton?
Yeah, I know.
And,
hey, hopefully they're good at basketball because that season's coming up, right?
yeah, okay. Well, they're going to play Thursday in New Caney. All these teams are playing other than Hampshire Finette. Those two teams are playing on Thursday night. So Silsbee and West Orange Stark will be in action on Thursday night. They're playing in New Caney at Randall Reed Stadium at 7 o'clock. So West Orange Stark taking on Wharton, and we predict West Orange Stark should be able to handle that.
They should go on a run.
Hampshire Finette will be under the Friday night lights, and they'll be in Pasadena taking on Lamarck. Now, Lamarck, this is interesting. Lamarck went 5-1 in their district. They finished second to Columbia, who went undefeated in that district. So Hampshire Finette, I do think have their out of any of those three teams,
for sure.
they have their hands full against Lamarck.
Yeah, I mean, but you talk about Hampshire Finette. We mentioned that Silsbee loss for them, tough loss, but they completely readjusted. They looked like a whole different team after that loss.
Right.
And it showed against West Orange Stark. They played West Orange Stark really well. And really, you're talking about they could have won that game, and I hate to go ifs and coulds and buts, but they really could have won that game. And so
woulda, shoulda, coulda.
I have a lot of belief in that team.
Yeah.
I think Coach Wagner is a really good coach.
Sure.
I think Blake Broussard has grown into a great quarterback throughout the season.
Right.
Pierce Pirtle, man.
Yeah.
That's what I told. We talked about it last week.
You
if you can find an answer for Pierce Pirtle, you might be able to stop that team. But he's one of those, you just can't stop him. Dwayne Long, he's an amazing receiver. They really just have the talent all around.
Right.
And I do believe that that's one of those teams. I have no doubt in Hampshire Finette round one.
They certainly have a chance.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. All right, we're going to move down. If anyone's unfamiliar with that mascot, that logo right there, it's the Hardin Hornets.
How you haven't found out about it this year.
The 10-0 undefeated district champion Hardin Hornets. First district title since 1974 and just the third overall. Hardin gets to open up against Crockett. Crockett, the fourth place team out of the neighboring district. Crockett went 2-3 in district and made the playoffs.
Good team.
How are they going to do against Hardin?
Oh, man. I don't know how anyone's going to do against Hardin. If I'm being honest right now, I think Hardin's got a really good shot at making a state run.
Yeah, for sure.
They're just running the ball efficiently. They look amazing in every aspect.
No one's had an answer for them yet.
And they work hard, man. I mean, I've been to every team's practice, most teams' practice. I want to say every team. There's some teams I haven't obviously had a chance to go out to. But and this is no diss to anybody else. I don't think anyone works harder than Hardin.
Right.
I'm so serious. The things I was watching out there, I couldn't even believe it. You got the quarterback pushing the freaking, what is that? What are those called? Where the O-line work on?
Yeah.
The quarterback working on that.
Yeah.
What? I've never seen that in my life.
Funny.
What are they doing? What is he doing out there?
Hey.
So they work hard out there. I'll give Hardin some credit. They're a tough team. They took down some teams that I'd never thought. I would have thought Orangefield was going to be state ranked by the end of the season.
Right.
They handled Orangefield.
Yeah.
And so you got to give Hardin a lot of credit. They have looked amazing this year. They'll look good in the postseason.
All right, speaking of Orangefield, they get to open up the playoffs Friday night in Jasper. They're taking on Diboll. Now, Orangefield went 5-1 in their district behind Hardin. Diboll went 3-2 in their district.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pick against Orangefield. I know they had a little struggle, I think, round one last year in the playoffs, but I think they've dealt some injuries. If you can avoid that. Caleb Menard controls the defense.
Absolutely.
They have some talent on offense. Mason Manning, Carson Gonzalez. They just got the guys. And so it's just hard to pick against them. But, as long as I keep playing Orangefield football, I think we'll see them in the second round.
All right, East Chambers, they get to play on Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff in Navasota at Rattler Stadium against Westwood. East Chambers went 4-2 in their district. Westwood went 3-2 in their district and made the playoffs. They're 8-2 overall, though.
Probably pretty equal matchup.
Pretty equal
East
matchup.
Chambers just got to,
sure.
You have to turn it up. I will give it, I'm going to say this, be honest. East Chambers had a chance when Hardin came in, and they dropped one to Hardin. They had a chance against Orangefield, at home to clinch that 2 seed, and they dropped one against Orangefield.
Right.
And so it's like, when you get to the playoffs, it's moments like that are big. And even both those coaches, I believe, mentioned in that because it was our game of the week.
Right.
This is kind of like a playoff atmosphere.
Absolutely.
And so I hope that gave them a test that they needed, and now they're ready for this playoff atmosphere week 1 because, obviously
there is no next week.
There is no next week.
Yeah.
Never. No team has a next week.
Yeah, correct.
Not until that game finishes.
Yeah. All right, move on to Anahuac, and here's a team that has a losing record into the playoffs.
3-7 on the year.
3-7 on the year, but they did go 3-3 in district, so their 3 wins were all in district play. They qualify as the 4th place team out of that district. They're going to face Fairfield, undefeated, 10-0.
Yeah.
Fairfield.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck to the Anahuac
Yeah.
Panthers. Rooting for you. I really am. Greg Neese, right?
Yeah.
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 Great coach.
Yeah.
That
Good
gives
coach.
me some confidence.
Hey,
confidence.
they made the bi-district round, so, and
Never
you got to
know.
play the game. So
6 weeks of playoffs still. 6
That's
weeks
right.
of football.
Yeah. All right, best of luck. All right, we'll move down to Division II, 3A Division II, Newton Eagles. They did what we expected. They won their district, 6-0 in district play. They're going to face the 4th place team out of the neighboring district, New Diana, who's 5-5 overall, 3-3 in district.
I think we got 6 more weeks in Newton football.
Yeah, that's good. Let's hope so. Yeah,
That's
for
all
sure.
I got. I don't got to say anything else.
Yeah, Woodville finishing runner-up in that district to Newton. Woodville getting to take on, they're playing Thursday night in Nacogdoches at Dragon Stadium, 7 o'clock kickoff against West Rusk. West Rusk.
Yeah, once again, feel good about the Eagles.
Difficult to say, West Rusk.
Say
it.
All right,
West Rusk.
West Rusk.
Rusk. Yeah.
Woodville just had that game against Kuntz, which I would consider a playoff game. It's for that 2 and 3 seed.
Right,
playoff atmosphere.
And they got it.
And they took
Yeah.
care of what they
Right.
needed to do.
Yeah.
Carry that into round 1. You got Luke Babin. Feel good about that team. So
Yeah.
he's got the experience. Hopefully he can help that team out.
All right, you mentioned Kuntz. They're going to play Friday night in Shelbyville at Dragon Stadium against ARP.
Who?
So ARP.
ARP? Okay.
These are teams Cam hasn't even heard of yet.
Yeah. What's their
'cause
mascot?
he's new. ARP? I want to say they're the Tigers.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on ARP. All right, I'll have to look that up.
Never heard
Anyway,
of
so Kuntz against ARP. Kuntz finishing 3rd in that district. Kind of an even matchup here.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
Okay.
Kuntz played Woodville tough. I believe Woodville's a good team. That's kind of my I got to work myself down that line. So,
All right.
if they played good against Woodville, I think they can play good against a lot of teams.
All right, Evadale Rebels, they made the playoffs. They finished runner-up in that district, and they're going to take on Love Lady Friday night in Woodville at Eagle Stadium, 7 o'clock kickoff. So best of luck to the Evadale Rebels.
Oh, yeah, good luck
We
to
hope
them.
they do
They
well.
got some talent over there. I've had him in my top 6 a couple times. Had a player of the week out of there.
Yeah.
Buckner, their quarterback.
Right,
He's
right,
a
right.
talented guy.
Yeah.
So good luck to those guys. I'm rooting for them.
Deweyville gets to play under the Thursday night lights, so varsity football under the Thursday night
In Beaumont.
lights in Beaumont. That's right. They're going to take on Grapeland, a tough team. Grapeland, I think, went undefeated in their district.
Okay.
They're going to be here at Doggett Family Stadium here in Beaumont, 7 o'clock kickoff Thursday night. So best of luck to the Deweyville Pirates. West Hardin, they get an action tonight. Let me look at my sheet here. If I got West Hardin on it, yeah. There's West Hardin. They're going to take on Mount Enterprise Friday in Lufkin at Abe Martin Stadium. Mount Enterprise.
Yeah, that's a company, bro.
No, that's a football team.
That's crazy.
Mount
Enterprise.
All right.
Yeah, good
All
luck.
right. West Sabine won their district. They're going to take on Overton. That's going to be Thursday night as well. And they're going to be at Joaquin, the Rams Stadium, Thursday night at 7 o'clock. And they're taking on Overton. So West Sabine handled their district pretty well. So
Yeah,
I think
they got a good chance to play some more playoff, some play football.
All right, that horse in the horseshoe.
Oh yeah,
It's the Burkeville Mustangs. They get to play in the playoffs.
cool logo.
1A 6-man by district play. They're going to take on Aquila.
I'd be lying to you if I knew
Aquila.
anything about Aquila.
Aquila. I don't know anything
So,
about
you know
Aquila
what?
at all. 6-man football. They're going to play coming up tonight, Thursday night in Oakwood. So best of luck to Burkeville.
Good luck.
The Chester Yellow Jackets right there. They're going to take on Coolidge, and that's coming up Friday in Grapeland. So best
Great
of luck.
plan. All this great plan stuff we keep talking about.
Great plan.
Great plan
And
this.
Legacy Christian in TAP 6-man play. Legacy Christian finishing second in their district. I
believe
think they only
have-
played 2 games in district play.
Yeah.
So
I'm about to pull up their match because I did find it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Lutheran. Is who they're playing.
Lutheran Christian. Okay.
Good luck.
So 6-man, TAP 6-man football, Legacy against Lutheran Christian. That coming up. So best of luck to all of them. Of course, we don't have a Friday night tailgate party after the late news this week. No, instead we're going to have an extended sports cast, a playoff edition of the tailgate party within the news. So make sure you're watching KFDM News at 10 o'clock at about 10:20, maybe a little before, 10:18.
Yeah, I got to be before.
Cam and I will jump in. We'll take over half the newscast right there. We'll talk about all these playoff games coming up. We'll, of course, have extended coverage Thursday night as well at 10 o'clock with all the teams in playoff action coming up later tonight. All right, thanks so much for listening to the KFDM Sports Extra podcast, or watching if you're watching us on YouTube. News on KFDM on YouTube as well. We'll be back next week to talk more Southeast Texas high school sports.
Thanks for watching the KFDM Sports Extra with Mike Friedman and Cam Sanderson.